We all know that being cast in the Marvel Cinematic Universe comes with its own set of requirements, especially when it comes to looking your absolute best physically. Jameela Jamil's recent casting in the She-Hulk TV series was very exciting, but the star has had to take some pretty drastic measures to get in shape for the role. We'll be discussing this and much more in today's video, so stay tuned. First up, how did Jameela Jamil land the role? Jamil will be playing the role of Titania in the franchise, and if you didn't know this already, her character is kind of like a rival to She-Hulk. Her character is perfect for her, since Titania is also a social media influencer on the show, which is right up Jameela's alley. At first, Marvel fans weren't really sure whether there would be a villain on the She-Hulk series, but it wouldn't be an MCU show without a villain, now would it? Marvel then confirmed that there would be a villain and that they already had someone in mind to play that role. Some sources started reporting that Jameela Jamil had been cast as Titania, and the news started spreading like wildfire. It wasn't until mid-July that we got confirmation from Jamil, who posted a video of her doing a fight sequence, along with the hashtags #MCU and #She-Hulk. This confirmed that she would definitely be a part of the franchise, and it was later revealed that she'd be playing the role of the villain. Next up, a little bit about the character of Titania. Jamil has been an influencer for most of her career, although she has expressed her disdain for the term a number of times. She's been very outspoken about her support for the body positivity movement, even going after megastars such as Kim Kardashian for promoting unrealistic body standards. So naturally, this role should come quite naturally to her. As with all Marvel characters, we're wondering how much of Titania will be based on the comics and how much the producers will change. Well, as for Titania, we know that she's got a ton of strength and she's supposed to be She-Hulk's rival. But what about her past? Well, her birth name was Mary McFerrin, and she was born as a premature baby, so she wasn't very strong growing up. This meant that she was always a little bit jealous of people who did have immense strength and wanted to be their equal. Growing up, she also had a super hard time because she was bullied by her peers, so she always wanted to be strong and famous so that she could hold her own ground. Titania was eventually offered superpowers by Dr. Doom, which led to her becoming super strong, but she still retained some of her jealousy and resentment for the titular character of the show. She becomes super obsessed with She-Hulk and makes it her life's mission to be a challenge to her, and the two get involved in a bunch of fights. All Marvel heroes need their personal villain, and Titania takes her job very seriously, especially after the new powers that she gets from Dr. Doom. Now, we don't know exactly whether Marvel will be introducing the Dr. Doom element into the TV show, since he is a pretty major villain in the MCU, but we're excited to see just how much backstory they give to Titania in the new series. In the original comics, though, Titania uses her superpowers to battle a number of big names, such as Captain America and the Fantastic Four, so Marvel might have a lot of exciting new things planned for the future with all of these characters coming together, and if we're being honest, we absolutely can't wait. Next up, what did Jameela Jamil have to do to prepare for the role? We know that Dr. Doom grants Titania immense powers, which means that she needs to be portrayed as super strong and fit on the show. So we're just wondering just how much Jameela had to prepare to look the part of a super strong villain on the show. Well, she not only worked out to get super shredded, she also took a bunch of classes for combat training. Before arriving on the sets for She-Hulk, Jamil learned jujitsu and kung fu, as well as air combat and kickboxing. Jameela has been pretty transparent about her journey as an MCU villain, and she looks like she's having a pretty swell time. In the videos that she's been posting to Instagram and Twitter, she can be seen training and working out, but it isn't all work and no play with this one, since she said she does enjoy treating herself with pizza after a grueling workout session. So what exactly do her workout sessions include? In her videos, she was seen doing a lot of sparring as well as a lot of fight choreography sequences. In the first episode of the series, Titania can be seen doing an impressive flying kick, and that wasn't the result of CGI at all, because Jamil can be seen practicing that in one of the videos that she uploaded. Lastly, was it all worth it? If you haven't seen the first episode of the She-Hulk series, this might be a tiny bit of a spoiler for you, but we won't get to see a lot of Jamil on screen. At least not as much as we'd hoped, given how hard she's been training for it. We wonder why so many MCU actors find it so easy to get absolutely shredded for their roles, and we think the answer is the elaborate salary package they get. Most actors are paid to look a certain way for the role of a Marvel superhero, or in this case, villain, and we're guessing if most of us were getting paid millions of dollars to be a character on the MCU, getting up early in the morning to go to the gym wouldn't feel as exhausting as it does normally. But given how she barely appeared for a minute in the first episode, we're on the edge of our seats trying to figure out if we'll be seeing more of her. At the end of the day, she is She-Hulk's arch nemesis, so they should definitely include a fight scene at the very least between the two rivals, especially after all the work both women have put into their physical transformations. Jamil did tease that we'd be seeing a lot more of her around episode 5 or 6, and she'd be testing She-Hulk's limits, just like any good villain should. She said that her character knows all the right buttons to press, and Titania would be testing She-Hulk's patience with perfectly manicured nails. We love to see it, and we couldn't be more excited for the rest of the season. Now for other related news. First up, Jameela Jamil pulled a muscle while training for Titania. Being an MCU character isn't all fun and games, and sometimes it can be very physically challenging. In an interview, Jameela Jamil left us very impressed when she said that she did most of her stunts herself, instead of relying on a stunt double. Being this involved in such a role means that you put yourself at the risk of injury quite frequently, and that's exactly what happened with Jamil, although the story is quite funny. While doing an especially difficult stunt, Jamil ended up pulling a muscle in her butt. Jamil was pretty candid about how she's a regular couch potato, so she's barely ever done any stunts before this role, so it was expected that she'd get injured at one point or the other. Lastly, let's talk a bit about She-Hulk. We know that the villain of the franchise is played by Jameela Jamil, but who's playing her arch nemesis? Well, the role of Jennifer Walters, or She-Hulk, went to Tatiana Maslany, who's a Canadian actress and the star of Marvel's latest TV show. Walters' backstory is that she's supposed to be Bruce Banner's cousin, and she gains her superpowers when she's involved in a car accident. During the accident, her blood gets mixed with her cousin's, and she gains the power to transform into the monster, just like her cousin. Now, just like every other superhero, she goes through a phase where she refuses to accept that she now has superpowers, and keeps insisting that she just wants to go back to her normal life, which may not be understandable to those of us who grew up watching the MCU heroes and wanting to have superpowers of our own. But hey, not everyone wants to live their life trying to make the world a better place. Her cousin, the original Hulk, has a good talk with her though, and tells her that there's no way she can go back to her old life, because being a superhero comes with a lot of danger and responsibility. Jen understands a lot about responsibility though, because she's been a lawyer in Los Angeles for most of her life. She decides to train with Bruce, who is played by Mark Ruffalo, and eventually returns to her life back in LA. We won't give you any more spoilers though. You'll have to watch the series to find out more. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about Jameela Jamil's transformation for her role as Titania? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.